No, they don't require a second, but it's always a good thing to do.
It's for fun.
Is this for the chair?
This is for chair.
I'd like to make a nomination also.
Okay.
For Dana Myers.
Dana Myers.
I want to nominate as well Weston Martinez.
Weston Martinez.
Okay, wait 1 second. I'm not the fastest pen in the West. Okay, Scott.
I nominate Abraham George.
Second.
Any other nominations?
Ben Armento.
Ben Armento? Any other nominations? That's 5 out of the 7. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Going, gone. Nominations are now closed. We have 5 individuals who have been nominated. Matt McCowick.
Makoviak.
Okay. Dana Myers, Weston Martinez, Abraham George, and Ben Armenta. Again, the rules that yesterday on the floor that we spoke about, our voting will be by secret ballot. All of you will get 5 minutes if you would like to speak, aggregate time for those candidates. Robert, to help Margaret and myself out, would you be the timekeeper for us, please? Appreciate you helping out. Our ballots will be when we get to the balloting portion. We will vote. No one has a majority. The bottom, first, only one opportunity to speak. This is, as we begin, that's our opportunity to do the speaking. After these fine folks speak, and we begin our balloting, no one receives a majority on the first one, the bottom person drops out. The bottom vote getter drops out. Then we vote again until someone has a majority. The least voting in that system is the one who drops out. That's what we voted on yesterday, supplemental. All right, I'm going to go in the order that that our folks were nominated. So you're speaking for Matt. All right.
Me too.
Come on up.
No, you want to?
No, I'll close.
Okay, correct my mistakes, okay?
So, Mike, if you only have, y'all want to make sure that someone tells you.
5 minutes.
5 minutes total.
Yeah.
5 minutes total.
Total.
So don't take.
Okay, when does the time start?
When you start talking.
You start talking.
So I can remain silent for about 5 minutes?
No.
Okay, I just want to respect the rules.
No, you're good.
I'm not nominating Matt Kolich, and I don't even know how to say his name properly, but he's fairly impressed me because he does a newsletter called MustReadTexas.com. He got into the race at the last minute, but he's very qualified because he knows what's going on. If something of here's a quote from Bill Graham: "If something of importance is known in Texas, Matt knows it." So this is really, he's not limited to what he reads in the Wall Street Journal or Texas Tribune or in local newspapers. He gets the information, and I think he will react to it properly and actively, and a lot of people respect him and know him from his website. His website is called MustReadTexas.com. MustReadTexas.com.
In the interest of time, we'll go fast. I've known Matt for over 24 years. We went to UT together, and I witnessed his leadership there, but also going and punching Democrats right in the mouth. He took Travis County from a forgotten, nothing Republican Party to actually winning city council races and smashing the Democrats in their home territory. He went into strong Chet Edwards' backyard in College Station and took out a 30-year incumbent with the help of Bill Flores, his candidate. He has proven time and time again that he can fundraise, he can lead, he can go into troubled territories and actually win races. And we need someone who can win races and fundraise. And he's the only candidate so far to have actually bundled for Trump in this cycle, raising over $50,000 for Trump. I support Matt Mackowiak. I hope you do too.
Thank you very much.
Speaking for Matt?
No.
Then it's not your turn yet.
Oh, sorry.
Really?
That was my turn.
Hey, if you have more to say, I
No,
thought we were losing time.
Yeah, that's
Just
what
up
I
to you.
thought.
You have 3 minutes. Do you have anything else to say?
Not really, just one.
All right, well, so one of the things that I wanted to really stress about Matt, because of the fact that he came into the race late, is he was asked to come into the race because the polling over and over and over showed that the majority of the body did not like any of the candidates. And as more data came out about these candidates, they really wanted someone that could help unite the clans. And I think that if we have someone like Matt that can cross over from Dallas to Houston, from Galveston to El Paso, and really raise money, raise troops, register voters, and get people to show up and vote, that we have someone that we can get behind and win in 2024.
Thank you very much.
A point of information, would it be okay if I give like a 1-minute warning in case people want to talk for a little bit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. All right, that was for Matt
Mackowiak.
Mackowiak. Now, thank you for sharing about the newsletter, because I've received that newsletter. Probably most of us have along the way. And I was wondering if it was the same person. It's great. All right. Our next person who was nominated was Dr. Dana Myers. And Margaret, do you want to speak?
Yes.
For her.
Let's see, Dr. Dana Myers, former surgeon, current business owner, Republican activist for 40 years, as vice chair of Harris County, developing a healthy precinct chair vetting program. The TFRW executive officer, strike force, and RPT vice chair is the only candidate in the race who has traveled more than 120 counties speaking and training county chairs, precinct chairs, knows not just business, but the business of the state party, and has developed relationships statewide, who already has a grassroots army, a planned day one with thousands of volunteers ready to go. She has fought for and led the charge to pass election integrity bills and doing away with voter fraud in Texas. There is literally no learning curve. We do not have time for new ones to be trained for this position. Let's keep them involved, but put the candidate with the vast experience in the state chair position this time. Too much is at stake for Ted Cruz's race, President Trump's race, and all of our traditional races that the left is targeting. We need strong, unwavering stability in personal action. Someone who is steady as a rock and tough as Texas, with the pressures presented being state chair. Donors with whom she has spoken who would not give during the past administration have asked her to run for this position. There is nothing for the Dems to attack and dig up on her. Support me in voting for this candidate, Dr. Dana Myers, a leader with valor, purpose, integrity, who will deliver victory for Texas as our next chair of the Republican Party of Texas. Vote for Dana Myers. Thank you so much.
All right. Someone's having fun next door. Maybe we thank, I believe, Don. So, as SD delegates, they're on the floor with flags. It's always nice to get noticed for good things, and we want to be good patriots. So they might be making the noise, but we can show our own records too. And again, and we've talked yesterday. You know, we want to be respectful to all the speakers, everything that happens today, and so we want to be behave ourselves in a wonderful place that we can live, and we can all have some different ideas and different opinions, but yet be very respectful and caring for one another.
That's, just to confirm, we have 5 minutes for each speaker, right?
Correct.
For each candidate. Okay, just want to be sure.
So, that was a free political paid advertising or whatever. So next is for Weston Martinez, and I believe Martha's going to speak.
Not yet, until she starts talking.
I was waiting for her.
Okay. Weston Martinez is a fourth-generation Texas. By the way, my name is Martha Fierro. Is a proven conservative leader who was born and raised in the Alamo City. And so he also has served under Texas Governor Rick Perry. He was appointed as real estate commissioner by former Texas Governor Rick Perry, the U.S. Secretary of Energy under President Donald J. Trump. And during his term in office, served under both Governor Perry and Governor Greg Abbott as Texas Real Estate Commissioner. Weston worked with the legislative and executive branches of Texas government to oversee all licensing, regulation, and enforcement related to realtors, inspectors, and appraisers. One of the things is that I know Weston personally. He's also a pastor, a wonderful pastor of a local church here in San Antonio. And I have worked with him on several legislative bills at the Texas Capitol. And one of the wonderful things that I also know about Weston is the fact that when he saw that I was running for office, he sought me. He went after me, and he wanted to know how he can help. One of the things is that we see in leaders in the Republican Party is that they say they will help you, but there's a lot of talk and no action. And a lot of the times, especially when you live in a district like us, if I may ask you, turn around and look. You see a lot of empty seats, kind of like churches. It is our job and our duty and our responsibility as leaders, I don't care what position you have, is to recruit people. I can see many people here that helped me when I was first selected to run for this for this office that I'm seeking right now. And they were not paid people. They were not paid members. I can see Keith Nielsen, Tammy, Dawn. They right away got right beside me. Those are people that do action. You hear me? There's a lot of people that talk and have positions and do nothing. Well, Martinez is not one of them. He had his resources. He gave them to me. Right away, he went, sought his friends out, told them about me and my race. And right away, I got endorsement that there was no way that I could get. And he was there to help. And so for that reason, because I know that he will help Senate District 6 right now, and even in the future, when he does not, well, even if he doesn't take this position, he is still gonna fight for this wonderful state. He's still gonna fight for our children. And it doesn't matter what position he holds. And so for that matter, I ask you right now, let's vote for him to become our chairman for the Republican Party of Texas. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, and I yield to my daughter, Angel Fierro.
Be aware the time is still running.
Thank you, Mom. Hi, everybody. My name is Angel Fierro, and recently I ran for Congressional District 29. Now, someone as young as myself, running for the first time, a lot of people came up to me and said, really? What's the point? You're not going to win. But Weston was one of those people that said, okay, what is your plan? What do you want to do? What is your vision for the district? And that's someone that actually took me seriously. He didn't look at my gender. He didn't look at my age. He looked at me as a person and said, what do you have to contribute as an individual, as a hardworking person in our district? In our community, what I've noticed is the difference when leaders act, when people look past the differences. Like I mentioned earlier, Keith was one of those leaders that reached out to me and said, hey, I noticed you have a camera, take pictures. And for a time, I took pictures for the Republican Party for Harris County. But afterwards, I couldn't because no one called upon me, no one asked me, no one, there was just a little bit of road blockage. And something that made the difference when I was underneath understanding and learning under Keith and Tammy was that I was able to identify different leaders who took action, and Weston is one of those. Weston is one of those that actually looks at you, asks you, talks to you, and shares his resources. And that's the type of leader that you want to be with and understand and learn from, because everyone else can talk, but they're not going to be there in the action with you whenever it becomes tough and hard. They're not going to be with you whenever you have to go through the trials and understand how to grow, how to understand, because the next time when we're going forward, thank you.
Would you like your phone back?
Yes.
Thank you.
Senator, were you for time? We have 2 more speakers. Is it all right with the body to go ahead and let the senator speak?
Yeah.
All right, very good. We're going to have an interrupted personal privilege. Senator John Cornyn, our senior senator from Texas, is here, and we appreciate him being here. I've had many honors of life that I've never thought I would have had. Whenever he was first elected to Senate, I was privileged to be in Washington, D.C. whenever he was first inaugurated, and incredible honor. It also was fun to miss work, you know. We appreciate you being here.
Well, I am a senior senator and a senior citizen. But it's great to be here with you. Thank you for letting me come by and just say a few words. First of all, I want to say thank you. Our party could not function if it weren't for a very, very active grassroots contingent. And obviously, I've spent most of my adult lifetime working to help build the Republican Party in Texas. And if it weren't for Texas, our country would be lost. So the responsibility that I think goes along with that means that we can have vigorous differences in the primaries. That's healthy. I've been many different primaries. But once the primary is over, once the party has selected its leadership, then we need to come together and focus on the true adversary, which is Democrats. Joe Biden has been a disaster. On the border, I don't need to tell you, the 9 million or so people who've come illegally into the United States, the economy, 40-year high inflation. The Wall Street Journal recently ran an article saying that a cart of groceries that you would buy at an H-E-B or anywhere else when Biden was inaugurated is now 36% higher and more expensive. And that may be okay for Joe Biden if you live in the White House and you've got a government job. But if you're on fixed income or if you're struggling, 36% decrease in your standard of living is a disaster. And it's primarily because of all the money that the Democrats have poured on the fire like gasoline and have created this terrible situation. And then there's national security. You know, after the ignominious withdrawal from Afghanistan, where we didn't even tell our friends and allies that we were leaving, Vladimir Putin got the idea that the Americans could not be relied upon and could be taken advantage of. So our friends no longer trusted us and our enemies no longer feared us. Yeah. You contrast that with the Trump years. I was happy to serve alongside of President Trump for 4 years. I was the majority whip responsible for getting the votes in the Senate to pass things like the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which is up for renewal here in just a few, next year. Back when the border was actually secure. You know, we don't really need to pass new laws in order to secure the border because President Trump had all the same laws that Joe Biden had. The difference is 94 executive orders basically undoing everything that President Trump did. And then national security. Our friends trusted us and our enemies feared us, which is exactly what we want. So I know you have a full agenda of people coming to talk to you today. I see some of my friends who are running for various offices. Again, thank you for letting me come by. Thank you for the privilege of representing 30 million Texans in the United States Senate. It's a great honor, but if we lose Texas, we lose the nation. That's the responsibility each of us have here today and in the next 6 months leading up to this general election. Thank you. God bless Texas.
Thank you, John. I want to thank John Jackson. He's been in the trenches for a lot of years, for a lot of candidates. We appreciate it, John. Thank you very much. We're going to hold this up with all right, we're going to have time out for pictures.
Hey, Rex.
Yes, I've heard of Hey Rex.
This wasn't on the agenda.
Look, candidates were on the office holders.
Okay.
Candidates are already on. Thank you, Joe. A personal story, and when Senator was in, Attorney General Abbott had a lady from church who was going through a divorce, going through the horrible deals of trying to get alimony. I said, well, I don't know much how to help you. I've never went through that, but the Attorney General office is who you need to go through, and we have a great new Republican Attorney General, John Cornyn. And she was able to, by sending a letter to him, get something that she tried to get accomplished that for months that could not get accomplished, and was able to get accomplished. And so one of his campaign stops, I said, her name was Sandy, and I said, Sandy, you need to come and thank the Attorney General in person. And so she went, and of course, the senator's wife, then a candidate's wife, his wife's name is Sandy. So they had a lot of fun together. So, but appreciate the history. We have a unique opportunity. We have one of our state candidates, Matt, is here. He had 1 minute left on his time, and so while he's here, you know, in a perfect world, we just can't hold on to exact time for the candidates. And so, with your permission, we're going to let Matt take the remainder of his time, although a little out of order.
Thank you, President.
We appreciate Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. I will stay to my 1 minute. I got my stopwatch right here. Folks, thank you for being delegates. Thanks for stepping up. Thank you for nominating me. I'm here to turn this party around, folks. We are in crisis at the moment. I'm telling you, I would not have gotten into this race a week ago if I thought things were fine. If I thought we had $2.3 million in the bank and everything was great, I would not be doing this. I talked to President Trump about this very thing I was there for 2 hours in Houston. I talked to him for 10 minutes 2 days ago. The Trump team wants the A team. We do not have the A team right now. We have to turn this around. I have $2.5 million lined up in the first 30 days from 77 patriotic Texans. We're going to hire staff. We have 4 staff representing a state of 30 million people. Do you think President Trump has confidence in that? I can tell you he doesn't. We got to register voters. We got to unify after the primary runoff. We got to go win elections. And in January, I swear to you on my mother's life, we are going to fight like hell to pass the platform and the legislative priorities. I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking for your trust. I promise you we will turn this thing around. Make RPT great again. Thank you all. God bless.
Thank you for coming to the basement.
Very secure down here.
Very secure. All right, our Matt
M.
Matt M, that's right. McCoway.
Makoviak.
Makoviak. So I put a W when it's actually a V. Makoviak. All right.
Like the old bank, Wakoviak, but Makoviak.
Okay.
Abraham George is that.
Okay, so we're next is Abraham George, and I believe Scott made the nominations. Again, 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is an interesting race because I really hoped we wouldn't be having a chair election at all. I hope Matt Rinaldi would run again. I've gotten to know him well, and I think he's done a great job. His wife had a health issue, and it just couldn't work for his family, and so he found that out a few months ago, and so he recruited Abraham George to run because he knew him well from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And so Abraham was the county chair of Collin County. He was also on the SRAC before. Collin County is not as big as Harris County, obviously, none of them are, but it is a big county. It is a big county that is changing, it is growing, and unfortunately, over time, it had been trending the same way a lot of suburbs had. And Abraham knows how to run a county like that. He's raised money. He has done a great job there, according to everyone I've talked to from the Collin County area. Ken Paxton is from Collin County. He has endorsed Abraham as well. And the SRAC members that I know from there have too, several of them. And so when Abraham called me asking for my endorsement, I had a couple of commitments that I wanted him to make. The first commitment, which he agreed to, the first was that he would keep RPT involved in local races. It's not enough to win the presidency, to win Congress. We have to win school boards, city councils. We have to win constables. We have to win everything up and down the ballot, as we know in Harris County, because those are the people who affect our daily lives the most, and those are the people who swing voters see working in their communities day in and day out, and we want those people to be Republicans, even if there's not an R and a D on the ballot, even if the race is nonpartisan, and that's something he committed to. I also wanted him to commit to keeping the party involved, not just in candidates, but also in issues. It's not enough to just get a bunch of people elected who have an R by their name. They need to stand for our platform, they need to stand for our priorities, and they need to stand for what we stand for. None of us are in this just because we like the people we see on the news every day. We're in this because we want to change Texas and make it better. We want to change America and make it better, and that's something he believes in. So we need to elect a chair who is not, like, we're going to spend all day today passing legislative priorities, a platform. I don't want to just see it go down a black hole the second we leave this convention. I want it to be something we fight for, and that's something he wants to do as well. So he is a Christian. He has solid values, and he has executive experience as a former county chair. He's also been a candidate himself. And he didn't win his primary, but he got 47% of the vote in a state representative race, which is very impressive. So he knows what it takes to run a successful campaign. And also one last thing is, because we've been getting dozens and dozens and dozens of text messages from all corners of the world about these candidates, he has not attacked other candidates. Every message we have gotten from Abraham George has been him and about him and what he would do, what his values are, and who's supporting him. And I think that's pretty powerful. I want someone who can unify the party after all of this is over, and attacking each other doesn't do that. And so I think he is someone who, after these races are done and we have our chair and vice chair, he is someone who can go to the candidates who ran and wanted to be involved and make them part of the team. And so I believe in Abraham a lot. I hadn't known him very well before, but I've gotten to know him over the course of this race, and I know the people who support him, and I think he's going to do a great job as our chair.
1 minute.
Yes, Keith Nielsen, former party chair, former chairman and CEO of a domestic violence shelter. We need Abraham George to continue the great work that Chairman Rinaldi has done, building a team along with General Paxton. We could keep this state red and elect Donald Trump and elect people all the way down to the ballot to the water boards. Please support Abraham George for the next RPT chair. Thank you.
gotta walk fast.
15.
And 10.
I didn't hear about him until I got a text message from David Coley, and he is a man who stands with his values, and he stands behind him. I see that we should stand behind him.
All right, we're done. Excuse me. Down to our last candidate, Ben Armenta. All right, Colleen was speaking for him.
Okay.
Excuse me.
I am very nervous.
You're gonna do fine.
This is my first time.
Gavin, we did get you checked in.
Oh, awesome.
We got
Yes,
you
I'm
checked in.
here, didn't expect to be here, but I'm here.
We're glad that you are.
Woohoo.
And mark before the vote.
Go ahead. Are you ready?
You're right.
Let's.
I'm kind of sure. Y'all have to excuse me, I'm nervous. It's the first time I've ever done this, so hopefully I do okay. I like Ben Armenta. He's a businessman, and he has lots of experience in different areas. He graduated from Texas A&M, and he met his wife there, and he's been married to her for like 24 years, I believe. And he has experience. He's been a special ed teacher in middle school. He's also been in healthcare. He has experience in healthcare, nonprofit, and oil and gas operations. So he's a newcomer from what I understand, and he has a podcast in San Antonio called The Answer with Ben Armenta. So he gives commentaries on there also. And he also has been endorsed by the San Antonio Express Transit, I think it's called. So, okay. But anyway, he's been endorsed by him, and he's also been a candidate for land commissioner, general land commissioner, in 21 and 22, I believe. Hopefully I'm telling you all the right information. But anyway, so he lost it, but he does have previous experience on that also. So, I mean, I think he's not a candidate that is a politician like a lot of the candidates. So he's like Trump, so that's why I like him, and hopefully you'll vote for him.
All right, thank you very much, Colleen. We still have a couple of minutes. Anyone else want to speak on Ben's behalf?
Yeah, I'll speak.
All right, Gavin, do you want to speak on how many?
So you have just over 3 minutes.
Just over 3 minutes.
So in my conversations with Ben, I noticed, like you said, he is definitely not a politician, and that's what I like. I think the way that he goes about it is from a business grassroots type organization, and I can respect that because he is the outsider in this entire bunch. So he's got my vote because I can appreciate somebody who's on the outside who wants to make things better without having all these crazy connections that are inside right now. That's all I got.
All right, thank you very much, Gavin. Anyone else want to speak on Ben's behalf?
Still 2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes? Or we can yield it back. All right. A couple of notes. Again, go ahead.
Point of information, if anybody has anything else to add about a candidate, when would be a good time that's not necessarily positive?
It has been that within that time.
Okay.
So I think everyone has used up all the time except Ben Armenta. Would that be correct?
Point of information, we were not told that when we started.
Yeah, we told everyone had 5 minutes, but you can use it however you want.
We could have used, like at that time, we could have spoken again.
Yeah, but everyone used their 5 minutes, so there wasn't any time. Again, that's the reason why Matt was able to speak for a minute because his team only used 4 minutes, and so he was able to come up and speak. So that's the only reason he was able to. And so I had to do it within the 5 minutes. So that's all right. Good question.
The candidate's time to speak against a different candidate. Is what she.
Oh, to speak against a candidate?
Not to speak against a candidate, but you have to use somebody's time to do that.
Yeah.
So how would she be able to speak against the candidate while we're talking about a candidate?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So you'd be speaking for somebody and against somebody else?
Yeah, everything was for a person, unless you use your time in the for, that you're speaking and you wanted to dig someone.
Yeah. Something worthwhile that you would have wanted to know, but.
Okay, well, thank you. We appreciate that. Again, for a privilege, Colleen said this is the first time she spoke. I think she did very well, and appreciate her knowledge. I think Gavin, I know Gavin had to go out of town for work. How far did you come to get here today? Minnesota to be here today. So, an incredible experience. We thank Nick yesterday for putting himself up for St. Nom's chair, first convention. Is this your first state convention, Gavin? Second, that last one. Yeah, you used to. All right, very good. All right. So, just another thing to remind you. State election code, Republican Party of Texas rules as well, dictates that we have for chairman and a vice chairman, one of one gender, the second of another gender. So, we haven't got to the vice chair race yet. But let's say that if the person who you want to be the chair is a male, you need to be prepared to maybe think about a female who you would be wanting to be for vice chair. If you're conversely, you're looking for a female for the chair, for the vice chair. But then it all comes down though to how our recommendation is. Let's say that we recommend Marga to be the state chair. That means when it comes to the vice chair, all the lady candidates, no use nominating them because we have to choose a male. Conversely, if you elect me to be the chair, you're going to have a woman vice chair. And so just to make sure you understand that, that's state election code as well as Republican Party of Texas rules. We've had 5 candidates. Mike, I'm going to get Makoviak. Dr. Dana Myers, Weston Martinez, Abraham George, and Ben Armenta. Those are the 5 that we will be voting on. We had 3 tellers yesterday, and we're asking them to be our tellers. Those of you who spoke on behalf of your candidate, you can be a poll watcher, except for Chris. What do I do? You can set your count, yeah. But for a poll watcher, who else was Philip? Did you want to be the poll watcher for that, just for that one race, or for? That's right. Yes. And so to represent Matt's time. So if I'll let y'all. We've counted out our ballots, and so they are the yellow ballot today. So our nice Paige, he must not like me or something. He has not been back. So we're going to pass these out. Remember,
anybody else need a pen?
You need a pen. You may. If you can't spell or don't know, first name, we have Matt, is pretty easy. Dana Myers, Weston, Abraham George. I myself have to be real honest, I sometimes forget if it's George Abraham or Abraham George. He's the only one that fits in that, and there's Ben. We will do our best to interpret those votes. We voted only one time to help for those who are counting. I think there's a point of information. A question?
Can I be a poll watcher for Weston?
Pardon me?
Can I be a poll watcher for Weston? Martinez?
Yes, I was counting on one of your family. I thought Martha was going to be. But that will be fun. All right. Everyone know what they're doing. If you're able to bring them up,
spell it.
mark out through it? Can you mark out through it?
Yes.
That would be better. Because we have to count the ballots. So if you can.
Oh, you're just trying to get mine? Okay.
Yeah.
Are y'all good on my temperature? Sorry. Anybody want some Trump stickers? Trump stickers up here? Oops. Love the stickers.
And any course of the day, if you have some money for the CRC that Scott Bowen and Don talked about yesterday, they had some envelopes. They'll be glad to take some of our money. Did you get your ballot? I did. Okay.
¿No quieres una?
Any other votes?
Oh, would you like a Trump sticker?
Everyone's interested in all the freebies right now.
Abby, ¿no quieres una?
I love this one. Look, read this one. Read this one. Ain't cool? See? I love it. Oh yeah, that was funny too. This one is awesome, I think.
Has everyone voted?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the only one I have. Got it. He's second president.
Come out okay? Yeah. So you're the camera person?
Yeah.
You can't love it. I just got these right here, but this one is this that I got. And I like the one with the sunglasses. I'm gonna put the guest technique. What do you call it? The guest? Oh, how cool. Yeah. That's cool. Hey, check this out. Thank you. Isn't that cool? I love it. I didn't see that one. Well, I probably got the last one in there. I didn't.
Oh, how cool. Yeah, well, I was real cold and watching it and out here. I was with Amarillo. I was with Walker.
Oh, how cool. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, there's a bunch of fun stuff up here for our caucuses. I got glow sticks. I have a couple of necklaces. There's stickers, flags.
I will take this. I was so scared. I never did. I just
The Arkansas Aggie coach.
I did it.
They were brutal. I mean, he was all task and no compassion.
Oh yeah.
That's Junction. It's an incredible movie. I'm a big movie person. That's
Or we can do it.
Any football people? Who's the big? Who's the big Arkansas football coach in the 80s? Yeah, I just did a second ago. But no one listened to it.
While we're counting the ballots as members of the SREC, we are supposed to advocate for our candidate resource committee. I have envelopes here to take a donation. If Susan White gave a speech yesterday during her committee time on stage. If every delegate donated $5, we would raise $60,000 this convention, and all of that money goes to down ballot candidates. So I'm taking donations for the Candidate Resource Committee.
She takes checks. If you give cash, you have to place your name on the envelope. If you do not, and also your occupation,
yes.
If you do not, the money goes to charity, not for this. So you have to do that.
I think you can also donate online.
I'm gonna leave these up here.
All right, we have the results of our first draw. I'll let everyone try to get one.
You like it too yellow.
Hey, Don. SREC district.
City District 6.
Oh, Senate district.
Yes.
You're SD6. All right, are you red eye? All right. In order of the nomination, Matt M5, Dana M5, Weston Martinez 6, Abraham George 7, Ben Armata 3. So by the rules, no one has a majority, and let's see, that'd be 21, no, 10, 31.
There's 26, because we had.
I know what I'm doing. Yeah, sorry. So no one has a majority. Ben, by the rules, is the one who is eliminated. All right, everyone understand? Everyone agree? Again, for our rules, no more speeches. We just vote again till someone gets a majority. So our nominees for this time will be Matt McCovey. I had it once right. Makoviak, Dana Myers, Weston Martinez, Abraham George. Those are our 4 nominees. So we are going to be on coral paper this time.
Is our voting for 26 currently?
Yes. And so with the voting streak of 26, majority is 50% plus 1, so that would be a 14.
It's 6. 6, yes. That's your Senate district. That's what I thought. They try to make it hard.
And
This side's good. Oh, not yet. Is anyone missing a ballot? I have one sheet. Anyone missing a ballot?
Everybody get their paper?
Everybody get their paper?
wait 1 second since we.
Yeah, there's one sheet left. I want to make sure everybody who's eligible to vote has a ballot.
Everyone has their ballot?
Okay.
Maybe just me. Can't that
I have mine.
I've got it.
You want to tear it up? I gotta turn it in later to the staff office.
If anyone wants to know what a new style of weapons is, look at Jamie's shoes. I think they could kill a lot of people.
They match the Trump card.
Oh, yeah.
And not to be delving too much into her personal life, it must hurt her feet pretty bad too, because she's been barefoot most of the morning.
Everybody have their ballot? Ready? Are we ready?
All in, all done.
One of the, I told you the very first, I was able to go to Senator Cornyn's inauguration when he was first elected senator. And there was a lady that you got to make sure you fill out all the paperwork or it won't count. And there was a lady, much like Jamie, that had on these shoes. And if you've ever been to the Capitol, one of the things you learn about the Capitol is there are stairways and stairways and more steps. And this, I didn't know anything about what I was doing, and I had never been to too many hotels. I didn't know I could leave my stuff in a hotel. So I was carrying my luggage for the plane on this Capitol tour. And so I was known as the guy with the luggage. And this girl was carrying her shoes. Her statement was, you know, it's a lot of pain to be cute. Yeah. And so, remember that. Has the occupation or goes to charity?
Thank everybody for being gracious to Senator Cornyn. The convention has not been kind to him. We disagree with him on a lot of things, but he is our senator. So.
Yeah.
All those people up on stage that get time to speak, they're your convention sponsors. They help pay for all of the people who register as delegates and don't show up.
And the $79
The $79 does not pay for your seat here, because we've got to pay for every seat, all of the audio video equipment, all of the lots of stuff. And then we're renting a room for our car next door, so whatever.
And they're all generally union shops, and we're paying union wages, so it's pretty expensive. That's why I always mentioned during this SD caucus, if you don't plan to come, you know, it's okay to say that you can't make it. I did get an interesting note yesterday from Butch Babin. He wasn't able to be here. I did not know until this process that Butch has an autistic son, and so to be away from home for a time is challenging. And he had thought he had it worked out with a child to take care of him, and I guess it didn't happen. He said he went to a fiesta yesterday, and he saw a man going into a woman's bathroom. And so he called security. You know what he was told? It's okay, because that man said he was transitioning.
Where was that? Here?
That was in Houston. I was, I'm not sure which fiesta, but Butch lives in the Channelview, North Shore area. All right, second round of voting. Matt M, 7. Dana Myers, 5. Weston M, 6. Abraham George, 8. So by our rules, that means Dana is eliminated on this ballot. Okay, questions? You need to hear the numbers again. Matt M, 7. Dana, 5. Weston, 6. Abraham, 8. Okay, so I'm going to let y'all see those coral ballots over there. And just to let you know, I got mine already. That's probably what happened. I took mine out a second ago. And
it wasn't worth buying.
I like how you kept those in order. Appreciate that. So we're going to be green, verde. So we're going to green for our un poquito. I had a student a number of years ago. I can speak a little bit of Spanish, and I would talk to him. Then he was going to talk really fast, and I didn't get there. But I could understand a little bit more than I could even speak. And one day I just thought it was hilarious. He was a kid that was really honored. He was really cute, and he was getting in trouble. And there's a little girl tattling on him. And he just looked at the little girl and says, "Señor Teeter, no hablo en español." And I said, hablo un poquito, you're in trouble. Verde. Coral, I would have no clue. What would be coral in Spanish? Coral? Rojito, baby.
A combo of red.
All right, round 3. Our choices are Matt M, Weston M, Abraham G. Matt Makoviak, Weston Martinez, Abraham George. El Corral. May we help you, ma'am?
We need one more over here.
Well, I just thought that I could help you there, so well, thank you. All right. Green. Matt Makoviak, Weston Martinez, Abraham George.
Who doesn't have a ballot? I have 3 remaining. Who doesn't have one?
And again,
Do we have extra? Is everyone have a ballot? I'm sorry.
You can't leave. You can't leave right
They're
now.
still trying to figure out.
Until we call this completely done.
Hold it.
Hey guys. Hey guys, hold up. We still have some.
Yes.
Before we send the ballots in, does everybody have a ballot? Green? Yes. Okay, just want to be sure.
Thank you.
So you can leave, you just can't come back in. This is, Tammy, this is secure border. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I failed to mention that earlier, that we need to stay through the voting. We'll have before we do the vice chair's race, we'll have a potty break.
Thank you.
All in, all done?
No.
Everybody in?
Everybody's got their ballot in?
All right.
I suspect that unless you need them, Robert, Chris, for some of the candidates who are out, do you still need them as poll watchers, or it's okay?
It's fun.
It's fun. Okay.
Right.
So at 26, again, our threshold for majority is 14.
Okay.
Oh. Oh.
Yes. Yes. Good memory.
I know in the convention rules, and per the convention contract, we are not allowed to bring in outside food. I do believe that we can bring in our own snacks. They don't want commercial food like Whataburger, Chick-fil-A, Domino's Pizza, blah, blah, blah. We brought in. So I have brought a bag full of snacks if anybody wants to take one on their way out. Or a couple, so we can't have SD6 starving to death.
I thought you were gonna call me out on my oranges that I gave.
No. I know, we can bring in our own snacks. We can bring in our own snacks, but I'm not wheeling in a popcorn machine. So.
Particularly tomorrow, thank you. Like tomorrow, with it being the congressional morning, typically, if you're in a Republican district, and since we're Republican convention, the congressional office holders would have a breakfast for the people. We've never had a congressional, well, those of us in 29, 2 and 9, we've never had that. But they cannot do that. They cannot do that tomorrow. I think they perhaps could for like a fee of 20 or 30,000 bucks. And so it was incredible.
Oh, they couldn't do it for each individual?
That for each individual would be like 20 or 30 bucks, and not a good good use of campaign funds. And so I understand very strict about that. That's why a lot of people are having the containers as opposed to probably, since this is a Pepsi only place, it must be ran by Democrats, Pepsi only. Dr. Pepper, you know, I try to keep mine hidden. I forgot. Yes.
What an idea.
Guys, there's a reason we have these bags, right?
There you go.
Hey. That's right.
They have
You can? Oh, donation.
Right here.
Since I didn't, I have snack. No, they haven't?
Let's
let's take a restroom break after the final round.
Yes, but we will take a restroom break after we do this. Do I hear drum roll? Matt M, 11. Weston M, 6. Abraham George, 9. So our threshold for majority was 14. And so we're not there yet, so we have one more round. Okay, Matt M, 11. Weston Martinez, 6. Abraham George, 9. All right, everyone get that? All right, so again, by rules, Weston Martinez is the one who's now eliminated. And so for our, what color?
Pink.
Pink.
Yes.
Is this pink?
Yeah.
I've taken mine already. Yeah. So our last one for state chair is between Matt Makoviak. I'm getting it. Until I don't. And Abraham George. So AG. All right. So we're gonna wait. Getting count. I know some of you need to go back to the restroom. We thank you for waiting. Thank you, Michael, for remembering that.
Where do you want the finished ones?
Same bag, I think. Since I was last a moment ago, I will be first. So am I providing enough information for you, Tammy? Yes. All right. To quote the famous Robert Gurry, has everyone had their vote slips? Yep. Yes. All right, none left over this time. Got it? All right.
Go ahead. When you're ready, go ahead.
When you're ready, bring them on up. As the famous Bob Barker used to say, come on down.
Price is right. $1, Bob. $1.
Oh, really?
Oh, I know for sure. What does your shirt say? Vietnamese, oh, that is so nice.
That's right. Yeah, he's actually sending something. Yeah.
Has everybody voted? Has everyone voted?
No.
Not yet?
Not everyone voted.
Here we go. Matt.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen the staff. I didn't go. So, Rex, was Congressman Bob Babin or any of his staff at TV's office?
Not yesterday. If there was, Dr. Babin's been sick, and so I don't know how he is.
There.
I didn't see Will.
It is, but
I didn't see one. Is there someone there? No, I didn't. I wasn't familiar with most of the people that were not the Pierce County people.
well, I also I haven't seen Kelly.
Kelly's not on his staff. He works for Senator Cruz now.
Okay, that's Senator Cruz's staff.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't seen Kelly.
Yeah, he's with Senator Cruz.
But I haven't seen Will. There's a few others that I know of on the staff, but I didn't see anyone. Will. It's okay. It was supposed to be here. what probably made it difficult to start with, the secretary wanted to just use first names and going by county. And, you know, that, you know, there were a lot of people with the same first names, and finally, you know, they changed that. But I don't remember her name. It wasn't someone, I don't know. And the chair was Silas something. I didn't know him either. So I knew some of the Harris County people. I didn't know some of the others.
I think their chair was from school.
Yeah. But I think, well, I think we've been moving pretty efficiently. Is that fair to say? It's 9:45 and we haven't finished. There's some people that have probably, we did not have a contested SRAC races. There's some of these people, man, they spent big, not to say that you didn't spend big money, but because you only spent money, there's people wearing t-shirts for some of their candidates, and so there are,
What's up? Thank you. That one over there. She's the one with the shirt.
yeah, so Tammy will not get to make it her meeting till, supposed to be 10, and we're not gonna make it, and we're probably one of the quickest.
Gun don't kill people. The one I had yesterday. It's a gun don't kill people. That was pretty dollar gun. So then she got me this one. And then the first one was that against Dr. Lady. Then she got me this one. I saw one.
That becomes a spoiled ballot. So,
No, the
that
other
means
one
only
is
25
the
people
one for
voted.
tomorrow. And then she got me this last day. Proud that she I told her I want this.
That I was going to ask you.
The only time my pronoun is standard. I'm a translator. We still need 14.
All right. For those of you who need to use the restroom, sorry. For those of you who need to use the restroom, I'm sorry. The fourth round was Matt M. 12, Abraham George 13, and there was a vote for another person for one, and so that becomes a spoil ballot. We have to count that as a ballot. We needed 14, and so someone perhaps just made an error. Perhaps that's what you wanted to do. I don't know. But with that, we still don't have a majority of our vote. We need 14, and so we do not have that. So
who do we get to vote for?
Matt and Abraham.
Matt or Abraham.
Make sure.
No other candidates.
So we can only pick from two people.
Amarillo.
all right. First, we get the point of information. We have Matt M. Abraham George, our two candidates. If your point of information, what if there's a tie? Is that going to be your point of information? Good.
So how is this different from earlier when we had one extra ballot that was just spoiled? So isn't this the same sort of thing where if you don't vote for the two candidates, then that gives you a majority, minority?
No, because they put a name on it.
So the only time it doesn't count in the percentage is if it's blank.
Okay.
If it is, it has Mickey Mouse on it, it doesn't matter. If it's got a line across it, then it's part of the percentage.
And so
somebody could hold us up all day if
Yes.
they just kept like Mickey Mouse.
right. Or it requires a majority. We have an even amount of people. It requires a majority. Majority of, well, we have 26. Now, Angel has to leave at 11:45. I hope we're not voting it till 11:45. Please vote. But if that's the case, and she would leave, then that would change something. All right, so we are, I'm out of yellow. So, Matt M., Abraham George, Matt and Makoviak, Abraham George.
I'm sorry, you didn't.
have to be able to think about it. I can't even right now. We can't go through. Yeah, I guess you gotta wait for us to make sure everybody has a ballot.
Make sure everyone has a ballot. Everyone have a ballot?
Yep.
All right. Come on now.
Come on down.
Get it right this time.
And for the record, I put other this time. I hope not to have to put it on. I didn't put other last time, and I was surprised. So. And this time.
Just can't have to write it.
I'm gonna put right
There's gonna be some crackers in this red bag on the wagon.
Any other votes? Has everyone voted?
Everybody got their ballots?
That might be the difference. We'll see. All right, everybody ready?
Supplemental rules, they're unchangeable. You voted on them yesterday. Oh, no, you didn't because you weren't in the session. I've been honoring that.
The body voted on.
The body voted on.
In general. In general sessions was.
Again, on the CRC, make sure you put your occupation where they have to give the money to charity, which is not a bad thing, but you're giving it for the CRC, so we want that one. Many of you were in Harris County. Cheryl Johnson, she's tax assessor. Galveston County. She was one of the first recipients of the CRC money years ago, and she's still an elected official. Still, my mind does a good job for the citizens of Galveston County. And it's all because of her involvement, because of CRC. Many of you, maybe you're new to relatively new to Republican Party politics, or maybe Texas, and a lot of people think Texas has always been a Republican state. Texas did not have a majority Republican delegation until about 2008, statewide, for more Republicans elected than Democrats. And so we're only relatively recent. And you look at Greg Abbott is only, there's Bill Clements, George W. Bush, Rick Perry. Greg Abbott is only the 4th Republican governor in the last 100 years. And that's important to note. So that puts our lieutenant governor is probably about the 3rd, because whenever Clement was governor, there was no Republican lieutenant governor. When Bush, he had first 2 years was a Democrat lieutenant governor. So again, for Attorney General, Paxton would be the 3rd.
Tom Craddock the only Republican?
Yeah, one time Tom Craddock was the only Republican in the state representatives. And Rick Perry was a Democrat whenever he was in the state rep. He didn't know where he lived that there was such thing as Republicans until he moved.
I just wanted to point out that about the time, because in the single 2000s and into the teens, we had a bunch of Northerners that were moving down to Texas. And then after that, we had the Californians that were moving over. And all that influx, and we still ended up getting the majority Republican during that timeline.
All right. Drum roll. All right. Someone must have, all I can say, someone must really need to go to the bathroom. So. Matt M, 12, Abraham George, 14. So Abraham George will be our recommendation for the State Nominations Committee. And so Abraham George is, wait 1 second. Abraham George is our recommendation. We're going to take a recess so before we do our vice chair's race. Now, Nick.
Point of information? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Point of information? So just to confirm, so for the vice chair race, the candidate must be a female.
Candidate must be a female.
Okay.
Or our vote is invalid.
Okay.
So, all right, so you can take a recess.
Yeah, that's the closest one.
Bitter is.